Hey, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. I get frequently asked the question, what is Recruiter Bootcamp? I also get the question, what is performance-based hiring? Well, let me suggest that performance-based hiring is a methodology to hire top talent. What we've done is we've converted that into a course for corporate and third-party recruiters, which we call Recruiter Bootcamp. And the key to this is really understanding what kind of problems you have as a recruiter and then converting that into some kind of training program to address those. So what are your common hiring problems? I talk to hundreds of recruiters almost every week, and I ask them in live sessions and in online sessions, what are your big hiring problems? And it usually boils down to 5 big issues. The biggest one of them all, and this one they're kind of reluctant to say, is issues with their clients, the hiring managers. I don't know if you guys have any problems with your managers are weak interviewers, they're not very responsive, they overvalue skills, sometimes they won't even see your candidates. So that's a big problem. It needs to be addressed. The other big problem you have is sourcing. Are you finding enough good candidates? And I'll tell you, finding good candidates is tough nowadays. In tough economic times, it's even tougher because the best people get more risk averse. And now there's such a big competition for the best that you really got to be on your game with respect to sourcing. When I talk to hiring managers and recruiting managers, the big thing they say about the recruiters is they really don't understand real job needs. And when I talk to candidates, they say, if you don't know real job needs, how can I take the advice of a recruiter? So it's very important to become a partner and a consultant with both your candidates and your clients alike. Now you look at top candidates. They're not easy to deal with. Number one, it's a seller's market. There's competition for all of them, and most of them want too much money. Well, you got to deal with this. That's the reality of the world, is how do you deal with that? And now you have technology. And I think we all agree if you use an applicant tracking system, technology is probably not keeping up with the demands of the job. So you got all of these issues. Well, based on these issues, we developed a program called performance-based hiring. Now I want to go back to 1978. On January 3rd, 1978, I became a recruiter. Now, I've got a background in manufacturing. I've got an engineering degree. I've got an MBA. And by the time I was 31, I was running a company with 300 people. 90 hours a week was pretty tough. But I started using some recruiters who were very, very good. In fact, I would suspect they're in the top 5 in the country. So I became a recruiter. I learned a heck of a lot. And after about 3 or 4 years, I realized there was a set of conditions that always took place when a placement went smoothly. That eventually became performance-based hiring. Let me kind of just give you a quick overview. If you want to hire top people, you better have top jobs. What we do is we call these top jobs performance profiles. And it's important that you engage with your hiring manager and convince that hiring manager to throw away traditional job descriptions and focus on what the candidate needs to do. Without a top job, you can't even go into market to find top people. But now that you got a top job, now you've got to use different kinds of approaches to find them. We call this process talent-centric sourcing. And the best people don't look for work the same way average people look for work. But knowing the differences allows you to tap into that marketplace. And that's a core part of what we do. Now that you've got good candidates and a good job, well, you've got to interview these candidates. And I think we've all been exposed to the situation where our clients aren't great at interviewing. I became a very good interviewer, not because I wanted to become a good interviewer, because I wanted to defend my candidate from weak interviewers and bad hiring decisions. We developed 2 core questions that really focus on a candidate's ability to do the work. And if you know the job, you only need to ask 2 questions in terms of the candidate's any good. Then finally, you have to come up with what we call an integrated recruiting process. Your candidates today will have multiple offers. They'll take counter offers, they'll get competitive offers, they'll turn offers down. We believe that integrating recruiting into the process is an essential component. And I'll actually say that recruiting needs to be done, almost 3/4 of recruiting needs to be done before you even decide to hire the person. So we built recruiting into our performance profiles, into our sourcing programs, into our interviewing process. Collectively, that became performance-based hiring. A simple system. None of the 4 steps are all that hard. What's challenging is doing them all at the same time. And when you do them all at the same time, you actually become a partner with your client in the process. And becoming a partner just changes everything. Well, we've created performance-based hiring as a methodology for recruiters to improve their performance, and then we created it into a class. Yeah, so here's what we did to solve the problem. We created what we call Recruiter Bootcamp. Let me just give you a couple of concepts about Recruiter Bootcamp. The most important one is I call the double shift. The double shift requires you to take your hiring manager and get that person away from focusing on skills and academics and experience and onto performance. What does a candidate really need to do to be successful? The other part of the double shift is to get your candidates to stop thinking about this job as a monetary move, but as a career move. You pull that double shift and you're going to increase your placement rate by 100% or more. The second part was, hey, we got to find people. And the technology is really changing. More and more consumer-based marketing concepts are being used in sourcing. We're going to show you how to do them in Recruiter Bootcamp. We call those Web 2.0 and what we'll call advanced networking. How do you find people? Getting names today is actually easy. Getting candidates a little bit tougher. How do you get referrals? How do you get them to return your call? How do you convince them this is a career move? And finally, we're also going to obviously show you the 2-question interview. How do you use these 2 questions to increase your odds, both in placing the person, increase assessment accuracy, and have enough information to defend your candidate from bad decisions? Now let me give you the quick take. We repeat these 2 questions over and over again. Now we look for trends of performance over time. Then we put it all together, showing you what some of the latest recruiting and closing techniques are. And the most important one, I'll tell you, is applicant control. It's be able to influence the candidate at every step in the process. You do all of those things, you will become a partner with your clients. And that's what Bootcamp is really all about. Let me kind of give you a quick overview of the programs we offer. We offer these both public versions where we invite people from a lot of different firms, both third-party recruiters and companies together. And we also offer private, where we'll go on site, we'll really train a group of people. We also offer this program online, which is really becoming a new way we've realized is very effective. We've taken this full boot camp, we've divided it into 4 2-hour modules. The public version starts the first Friday of every month. We also have a live version where we really would come on site and put a laboratory together and very customized. Those who pass all 4 modules, and there is homework and there's exercises, become performance-based hiring certified. So we offer that certification, very, very important. We've actually seen those who have gotten certified have profoundly improved their placement rate. And I'm talking 30, 40, 50, 100% improvement in placements per month. So we're talking significant change, not just modest change. We also recognize that our clients, our hiring managers are critical. So no matter how good we are as recruiters, you got to be able to coach and train your managers. So we've actually offered a version where we actually train managers, hiring managers, on how to use their aspects or their role in performance-based hiring. And the best way to try this whole thing out is just take a test drive. Why don't you send an email to info@adlerconcepts.com. We'll get back to you, allow you to audit one of the modules, and I think you'll get a chance to test this out for yourself and just see if it might be valuable for your company.